Greetings once again, Steve Martin. As I was looking at the background of this location, as we are still in Princeton, a couple more hours before we head to Abilene, Texas, 4 hours west, I'm reminded of Senator John Fetterman. If you've ever seen him being interviewed, he always looks like he's in a closet with a stone wall. I am not in a closet. I am on the back porch. The sun is rising. It is approximately 6:30 here in Texas. And this is an update on Sunday morning, June 7th. Yesterday was our first full day of ministry meetings here in the state. We began with the drive to a home church. And they had maybe 15 people. They've been meeting for quite a long time. The pastor is a former policeman, and he has some involvement in Africa, orphanage, and other situations there. In each month, once a month, they have a pastor by the name of Robert Mawire, Mawire, Mawire. Who's actually from Australia, and his wife's name is Janet. When I realized that, I told her, I have a sister named Janet. And so we, something like that always gets a conversation started. It was a joy being with them, and part of that time with the home church was a teaching, actually a historical teaching of Christian Friends of Israel in Jerusalem by Sharon Sanders. And she explained to them how her and Ray Sanders began the ministry when they were called, literally called, to come to Jerusalem. They had been living here in Texas. They went to Christ for the Nations organization, college, I guess. It's a college. They were living good. Ray was a farm agent, insurance, I believe, and Sharon had a nice, comfortable job. They said they were doing well, but the Lord had called them to Jerusalem. And so that 3-part video is on YouTube in this playlist, so I hope you do watch that. And later in the meeting, Robert, who has been around quite a while from what I understand, I'm sleeping in a room here upstairs, the media room, and in the bookshelf, I discovered that he has several books from at least 2007, 2011. So he's not a youngster at this point in his life, but he has a very strong prophetic gifting, one of which was, he said before the Ukrainian war that people best be ready. Well, they didn't quite believe him, and it certainly came to pass. He also was telling us later at a coffee shop after the meeting that he had a word when he went to some businessmen here in Texas that he was supposed to receive from them $250,000 to start a campaign organization, grassroots, for then presidential nominee or presidential guy running for president, put it that way, Donald Trump. They laughed, and they laughed through most of the time that he was trying to explain himself. He himself didn't want to give that word, but he felt the Lord was telling him to do so. There was one lady in the meeting. It was a men's meeting. She had insisted to her husband that she come. And he said, okay, but you cannot be in the main meeting. I'm not quite sure where she sat, but when he had given that word about the $250,000, the next morning she called him and said the Lord had told her that she was to give that amount, which she did. She since has passed on. But I said all that to let you know he had a very strong word for Sharon Sanders. It involved provision, and it spoke of our time here, why we're here, part of the reason. And so I don't want to share that. I can't share that as much as I want to. I don't want to tease you. That's not my point. But we will be seeing what the Lord is doing. I want to give an update on the computer situation with CFI in Jerusalem. As you know, on Monday, the entire system was hacked by Iranians. That was proven to be true. The higher government of Israel has tracked the origins of it, and it is an Iranian terrorist group who took down the computer system. 40 years of ministry data wiped out. They're still seeing what can be recovered, if anything. They broke through several firewalls. At first, Sharon said that this was the second setback the ministry has faced in 40 years. The first one being the loss of a building they had invested 10 years into, a lot of money, and the owner sold it. So they had to move. And she said this was the second biggest setback, but she has peace about it. The staff has peace about it because they know that the Lord, He's in charge, and He will be the one to deliver them. And in some ways, I had said to Sharon yesterday morning while we were sitting around the breakfast table that the Lord, He trims. Similar to the gathering of Gideon, how he had thousands. The Lord trimmed them down to 300, which would go forth. The Lord's doing that in our day. He is trimming back. He is calling those who are the ones who will stand, the remnant. And He is the one who will fulfill His purposes. And He doesn't need a whole lot to do it, but He will be doing it. Today we head out to Abilene, as I said, 4-hour drive. So far, I'm Ben, the driver. Initially, there were going to be 3 of us. There still are 2 of us. The third one will not be, but that's fine. I pray daily for strength. On the way back from the meeting last night, it poured. It was about 10 o'clock. And driving at night, driving in the pouring rain, passenger van that would normally hold 15. Seemed like a big truck. But as the Lord gave me some chat GPT images of the Lord riding with us in a van, angels on top, just having a good time. I truly believe that. So I don't want to keep you long. Just say hi. Hope your day is well. I know it's early for some. Later for others. I want to wish you shalom, and hopefully you'll tune in tomorrow morning. Bye. Shalom.